Hello Cubs! In this video we're going to go over some of the equipment and some safety tips that you'll need while you're cycling. All of the stuff in this video will be really useful for one part of the badge, but we'll go through that in more detail at the end of the video. So the first part that we will go through is clothing. So most of this should hopefully be fairly obvious to you, but you'll need different bits of clothing for different weather and things like that. So our most basic, we have our helmet. You should never go cycling without it. I also have, under here, a reflective cover for my helmet. If it's particularly bad weather and I need to go cycling, then I'll put that over my helmet for extra visibility. Then I have my fleeces and my raincoats. I have a couple of different ones, but these are the ones I use mostly for cycling. Then one I sometimes wear with the fluorescent ones, coming over here, is waterproof trousers. If it's really rainy, then I definitely put on waterproof trousers to keep me a little bit drier. Doesn't keep all the water out, but keeps most of it out. Then going to the opposite side of things, got sunglasses. Not only useful in hot weather, like we're having at the moment, or at least for the moment, but also useful in cold but sunny weather. And then, speaking of cold weather, we have a couple of pairs of gloves. These ones I also use for kayaking. They're very good at keeping the wind and the water off. They are waterproof gloves. Then I have some old-fashioned woolly gloves, hat, scarf, all of which are very useful. And the final thing on the clothing that I'll touch on is shoes. I just have standard trainers. Anything with covered toes should be fine. But if you wear kind of open-toe sandals or flip-flops, they're likely, or more likely, to get caught in the chain and things like that. That wouldn't be very nice. Right, so now have a think about what clothes I haven't included in this bit, or what I could have included but didn't. And also have a think about why certain things about the clothes are the way they are. Like, why are fluorescent clothes so good for cycling? Right, moving on to the next part. So here is most of the equipment that I use regularly with my bike. So firstly, stuff I always have with me when I'm cycling. It's my puncture repair kit, my light that clips on the front of my bike, set of tools, and the pouch that keeps the tools and the pedal light in. This pouch is quite handy because it clips under my saddle and then fixes around the back, and it just keeps everything nice and neatly and tidily away in there. Other things I have almost all the time are things like my lock and the keys for the lock and water. Now my bike doesn't have a holder for the water, so I normally have a bag to carry that in. And then if I've got a bag, I normally carry the hand pump as well. And this is equipment that I normally just keep at home and don't normally take out with me, but occasionally do if I need to. So that's the Bigfoot pump, spare in a tube, the magic juice of WD-40, and then various other spanners and wrenches and pliers and tools like that. Right, so the final part of the video is going to be about road safety and some tips about that. The best piece of advice that you can use all the time while you're cycling is to stay aware and stay focused on what you're doing, and where you are, and how you're doing it. But now we'll go into a bit more detail. Yeah, right now is actually quite a good time to get out on the roads and build your confidence on your bikes on the roads because there are fewer cars around. But we should always stay vigilant and stay aware of our surroundings and what's going on. So let's take a look at this example. This is a path going into the aquadrome. It's quite wide where I am right now,
but then you can see it gets very, very narrow and turns off to the left just after the bridge. So for something like this, I would get off my bike completely and walk across the bridge, and then walk down the ramp the other side, because there could be people around the corner, and then once we're down the ramp and we can see what's ahead, we can get back on our bike and start cycling again. But to contrast, if you're in a big green park like this, the path is slightly narrow, but there's lots of space to go either side of it, and you can see there's no one ahead of you, so you can go a bit fast, or quite a lot faster if you really want. If you're cycling on the road, be wary of the traffic around you. There could be cars and cyclists whizzing past you. If you're on a main road like this, it may be better to cycle on the pavement. If you're on a smaller road like this, then also be careful of traffic and of parked cars, because they can block your view. Not sure if you can see there, but there's a car that until just now was out of view because of this big parked van. But then the same road further up can be almost completely clear and really, really nice to cycle up. So you need to stay wary of your surroundings at all times, because it changes on a dime, as they say. Also be careful of cars coming out of side roads and junctions. Lots will be nice and open and clear, so you can see what's coming, but many will be concealed either by parked cars or by hedges, things like that. So here you can see one that's usually nice and open, but is completely blocked by that van. Also be careful if you're driving on the pavement or outside people's houses of driveways, because if people suddenly drive out of a driveway and there's a hedge or a fence blocking it so no one can see each other, then that could lead to a very bad accident.
Right, so now we have all that info, it's your job to make a safety poster for a cyclist or a pedestrian that focuses on one aspect of what we've done today. So for example, that could be what equipment and clothing would you need on a really hot sunny day cycling, or it could be something like how should pedestrians watch out for cyclists on the road, something like that. It should use some of the info that you found from this video, but then should also find some extra info on your own, well, not necessarily on your own, using a parent or the internet, and we'll see what you can come. These videos I am making public, so that other cub groups can use them, and what I was hoping for is to have a good number of examples of really good safety posters that I can make a whole video out of as a bonus video to this one and to the series of cyclist videos, and then we can show our best safety posters as examples to other cub groups who might want to do this badge. So once you've done your poster, make sure to upload it onto the online Scout Manager, and I'll see you later.